Hi, my name's Steve, and I'm the front-end architect at Twilio, and this is a course on Redux. Redux is a powerful state management tool for building client-side and server-side applications. In this workshop, we're going to look at using Redux by itself first before we go and build a number of small React applications. We'll use the Hooks API, we'll use the older Connect API, we'll even use the brand new Redux Toolkit set of abstractions for building powerful applications using Redux and React. I hope you enjoy this course. We're going to go through pretty much each of these. Now, there's a little bit of a lie in here, which is Redux itself has 5 methods or functions attached to it, but createStore creates a store object that has 4 more, right? So technically it's got 5. I wasn't lying, but if we're being intellectually honest, there might be a grand total of 9. But that is the entire API surface area of Redux. And we're going to pretty much master the library itself, and then we will kind of tie it in to building some React applications. Cool. All right. So we've got a few in here. We've got createStore, we've got compose, we've got bind action creators, we've got apply middleware. Let's start out with a good little helper library over here called compose, right? And compose is a function that is not dissimilar to if you've ever seen like pipe or flow or something along those lines. Compose actually has nothing to do with Redux per se. It's just attached to the Redux object because you might need it for things. What things? Well, there's a little like, I got to keep you as a cliffhanger so you tune into the next episode. But basically what compose does is allows you to take a set of functions and create one function that will pass a value through each of them. Let's actually see what that means. Let's make some functions together. We can make one here called make louder. These will all just take a string, right? And so we'll say string to lowercase string. We'll say make louder equals a string, and then we will string to uppercase, right? Let's give ourselves a little more room here, so we don't need that much. All right. So we've got make louder. We've got const, let's say repeat 3 times. And that'll take a string, and it'll do string repeat 3. I bet you didn't know that was a method on string objects. And then here's another fun one that is not even HTML semantically valid anymore, but we're into it, is embolden, which will take string, and then we will string.bold, which will wrap it in B tags. Which is kind of fun. And maybe I'm even going to spell string right in this case. All right. So just before we look at compose at all, if I wanted to make a function that took the value and effectively made it uppercase, then repeated it 3 times, and then wrapped it in those bold tags, what would I do? Any guesses?
I said map over the functions and apply them one by one.
Yeah, I can map over the functions and apply them one by one, right? And so I could create an array of all 3, and I could take the whatever the value, and I could use reduce, or I could use map and run it through all 3. I could even I could make a function called, let's say, const repeat 3 times make louder. Let's say yell make louder. Repeat 3 times, and embolden, right? That could take a string, and it could take the array and reduce it on through, right? We could write that, and that's effectively, spoiler alert, what compose is basically doing under the hood for us, just making us not do that. It could also, we could say make louder on the string, and then we could immediately pass the value of that into repeat 3 times. And then with that, we could embolden it. Right? And now we could say console log and we'll say hello. Right? You can kind of see it down here in the lower right corner. It works. Now, we could see a world where doing this all the time isn't great, and this is what compose gives for us. So all we can do in this case is say compose And we'll say embolden, repeat 3 times, and make louder. Maybe I'll even spell make louder right. I don't know. We'll see. Right? I get the same result down there. It's a way to take multiple functions and compose a new function out of all those pieces. We have connect, which takes, I think, 4 arguments. Really, we're only going to use 2, which is mapStateToProps and matchDispatchToProps. Right? Each one of these presentational components takes a set of props. What we want to do is, what do we need to pull from state to pass in as props? What do we need to pull in, in terms of action creators, and map those to different props, and then we'll pass those all into the component that we're wrapping. So let's go ahead and we're going to create a menu items plural container. So make menu items container.js. All right, in here we're going to start by creating that first function, which is it's very similar to what we had with useSelector. So we'll say const mapStateToProps, and that is going to take the state as the first argument in there, just like the selector did as well. And then what we need to do is return some kind of object where the keys will be the things on the props object, and the values will be what that actually represents. So if we look back over at calculator.js, you can see that this is expecting an items prop, which should be this array of items. So we just need to make sure that that happens. So we'll go ahead back into menu items container, and we'll return an object that effectively has the shape of the props that this component is expecting. And so we'll say, OK, cool, items is state.items. Awesome. The one thing to notice is this is simply a regular old JavaScript function that returns a regular old JavaScript object. You could call this constant or this variable sandwich if you wanted to. The fact that we call it mapStateToProps is just a convention because we are taking things from our Redux store and we're mapping them to the props that the object expects. And then finally, we will export a menu items container. And that is going to use this connect method that comes on React Redux. Connect takes the state that you want to map to props and the dispatch, and then eventually it will take a component that you want to wrap and pass those properties to. So we'll say mapStateToProps. We don't have any dispatch yet. This will return a function that eventually takes a React component. This is if you wanted to have just simply like a with items connector that you want to use for multiple components, you could just export this. We're going to kind of immediately wrap the menu items prop, or menu items component. All right, let's pull that in. Let's take a look, and we'll say import. Nope. / components. I put all the presentational components in a components folder, and the containers are in a container folder. Again, that's nothing forcing you to do that. So we'll put that in place. All right, you can see that we've got the menu items component in there as well. And then really all we have to do is go back to this calculator, and we're going to swap out the presentational one for the one that is passing the state into the presentational component. And then we'll switch this out as well. Menu items from / containers. All right, let's go ahead, and we can actually remove the hard-coded in array, because now this component is going to know to pull stuff in from the Redux store. All right. As you can see, now it's now gone from vegan ham to vegan ham sandwich, and an awesome tofu roast instead of a tofu roast. We know that we're going to need 2 slices of state. We're going to need one for the humans and one for the tasks. And then we'll begin to use both of them to kind of build our application up. So let's go into this code base. And we'll switch out to, I got to open this one up. that's the wrong one. Oh, it is. All right, give it 1 second. We've got to open in Visual Studio. So we've got our components. Our store right now is actually the normal one from React Redux. So we want to actually, instead of using Redux directly, we're going to use Redux Toolkit for most of what we need. So we'll get rid of this code, and we're going to export our const store is configure store, which is an abstraction that will eventually take some options and return a fully configured store. Things that are going to happen in here. It will automatically apply a few different middlewares for us. In development, there are 3 middlewares. There is one that checks if you're accidentally mutating state somewhere and yells at you about it. Another that makes sure, we saw that you could export and import an entire serialized version of state as JSON. That works if you use objects and arrays. If you start using maps and sets, stuff starts to get weird. So it will go and check to make sure you're not doing that. And then it will give you Redux Thunk, which we briefly mentioned earlier, which allows you to dispatch functions to make AJAX calls. It's going to wire up all that middleware for you. It's going to wire up the developer tools. It's going to do everything under the hood for you and get you kind of set up. So it takes a reducer key. We'll just start out with our simple one for now, but we'll add to it momentarily. But we know that things get angry with us if we don't have it in place. So now, if we go over here, and just with that configure store, we can see that we already have the dev tools in place. Great. So let's create the tasks slice. So I'll go in this store, task slice.js, and we need this create slice ability. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with, we'll just say create slice. And there's a bunch of other little helpers in here. Before we were just incrementing an ID, but Redux Toolkit also comes with a little helper library called nano ID, which will like just create unique IDs for you. So we'll make a function. This is a regular JavaScript function for creating a task. And really, the only thing that we're going to need eventually is a title for this task. And the ID is going to use this library called nanoID. We'll get the title. We'll say completed is false in the very beginning. This is very similar to what we did with the menu items. And assigned to will be an empty string for now. Great. So we've got that. Initial state, we'll just get some of that in place. And we'll say create task. We'll do order more energy drinks again. And we'll make another one, I don't know. Water the plants. Right, so this is, again, just calling this function. We did it by hand in the previous ones. I'm just giving myself a little helper. And now we just need to make the slice. So we can say export const task slice is create slice. And we know that the name is going to be tasks. We know the initial state we have here. And then we have our reducers. Right? These are all the things that can happen. Let's just start with the simplest thing, which is we saw that form. We know we're going to need to add one. So we'll say add, and just like before, it has the same API as any reducer itself. We'll say state and action, and then const task is that create task helper that we made before, and whatever the action.payload is. And then really we just push that onto the state. I could even get this down to a one-liner if I really wanted to. And we've got that in place. So now let's just hook it up to the store, which we'll get rid of this one here. And let's go ahead and we'll just say, you remember the syntax for combined reducers? where we have keys and then we have the value is a reducer. That's exactly the same syntax. It's using everything we've seen so far under the hood to wire this all together for us. So we'll say tasks, and that is going to be task slice dot reducer. And great, so we have all of that in place. Let's go take a look in our developer tools and see if that's in our state now. Oop, task slice is not meant corresponding on disk. I don't know why we capitalized that with the autocomplete, but here we are. Cannot read property map, undefined. Okay, we don't have the humans yet because I removed that out of there. So we'll actually say that should do the trick. So if we go in here, we look at the state, we can now see that I have the tasks. They're all loaded in there.